Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, wake up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the College Couch Podcast. Javaris here, Stackz Delbridge forever in the building. I don't know why I did that. That's just how I feel today, honestly.
I don't know what made you go in there intro either, my brother, but hey.
Maybe it's
it's the
because
rain. I don't know.
maybe it's because the boys handled business this past weekend. I don't know. But again, welcome back to another episode. Thank you guys for spending some time with us today. Thank y'all. We got a lot to talk about. Also, 2 more weeks left in the college football season. I'm scared, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm scared. I'm sad. I'm in a state of the unknown in a way because nobody knows what could really happen in these next 2 weeks. Especially now that we're coming down to like this is crunch time. You know what I'm saying? Like who knows what could happen within these next 2 weeks. So yeah, just a state of just OMG, like what's gonna happen. So let's talk about this Oregon Wisconsin game, bro. Oregon goes into Wisconsin on the road and literally escape by the hair on their chins to Wisconsin. Yep. Like I don't think that's, and again, this goes to the same thing we've been preaching all year with this on this podcast is any given Saturday and literally like that talent gap. But with this is the sloppiest I've seen Oregon all season. Like that was sloppy play.
Everybody has that one game, yeah. You know. Everybody. I mean, I haven't seen a team this year not have that game where it's not a pretty win. They don't play like their characteristics. They don't play like themselves. So I mean, like we've seen it time and time again. Just Oregon figured out a way to come through and finish.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I mean, yeah, I mean they didn't lose, so that's what's helping them. You know,
and I think was really crazy is on top of the sloppy play on that offensive side of the ball, you got Dylan Gabriel out here throwing picks. I mean, he threw one, but at the same time, it was a costly one that really got Wisconsin in a great field position. And, you know, it was just, this was just not good play by them. I mean, you still had Jordan James go over 121 yards. I think he broke over the 1,000 yard mark this past game as well. So, you know,
and also off topic, my boy, Jacquez Hunter broke 1,000 yards this weekend too. This is one throw out there. I haven't had too much to brag about, and this is a brag worthy thing. We haven't had a rush over 1,000 yards since Tank Bigsby, you know, early in his career. So that's. But go ahead.
I knew you were getting there. I knew it was coming.
Go ahead. Jacquez Hunter over 1,000 yards.
Shout out
well deserved on a ton of less carries, might I add. But go ahead.
You good? You got that out?
Yeah, number 27 Heisman. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
but yeah, Jordan James breaks the 1,000 yard mark, which is good. But again, like now we're kind of at that point in the season of okay, this college football ranking is going to be changing. Like again, now that you know BYU has lost, that sixth spot could potentially be open. And there was conversation that I had this past weekend with some people, just like where does, for you know, hypothetically my team stand? You know what I'm saying? Not speaking on Georgia and you know, with this, but I'm just saying in general, where does my team stand? So I'm thinking every team kind of moves up one or two spots maybe. I mean, that's kind of the way it looks like. You know, you have to knock BYU out of that top 12 spot, especially losing to Kansas. So it's just like, you know, it's a weird thing. Like I don't really know. And I mean, of course, we'll find out later on tonight. This is a Tuesday recording, so Yeah, like it's so weird now. 12 is good, but man, is this hard to keep up with.
But it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun. Like
it's
it's like,
fun.
okay, so how do we do from here? Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I mean, it doesn't. I mean, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter till after the conference championships anyway. So I mean, if you're number 4 and you lose your conference championship, then you know what I'm saying, you just got the number 4, number 1 for no reason. Because now, you know, somebody else takes that spot because you didn't win your conference championship. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of question marks, which is good because it makes people pay attention. And I think this is the most I've heard people tune in to like the rankings and stuff
Yeah.
like that as far as like the playoff picture goes.
Mm.
Because in past, I mean, we kind of knew what 1 through 3 was. We didn't know what the 4th one would be.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of hit and miss with 4 and 5. But other than that, you kind of knew who was going to be the 3.
Yeah.
You know, in previous years. But now, don't matter if you the 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as you know that you in, that's all that matters. You know.
Right.
Because
So
after the first round, it's just like the regular format after that, you know?
yeah, I do want to ask you. I mean, especially after a near call like this with Oregon, do you throw them? Do you throw them into the like with that 2 spot or 3 spot and let Ohio State move up, or what? What is
I mean,
what?
I personally see no reason why they would drop, you know. But if they do, I mean, it doesn't hurt them much because they've looked like themselves for the entire season.
Mm.
You know, Ohio State has had bad games where they didn't look like themselves. Bama has had bad games where they don't look like themselves. Georgia, every team has had bad games where they don't look like themselves, except for Oregon until this past weekend.
Mm.
Up until this point, we kept saying that Oregon is the most complete team up until this point. You know,
Now,
so
granted, I'll be honest because I had another assessment about that this over the weekend as well. I was saying, me personally, yes, Oregon. Okay, they have looked good, but in my honest opinion, now at this point in the season, I don't feel like any team has looked dominant or complete. Like that I'm really like banking on a team to like be able to go into the national championship. Like they're a clear indicator of making it to the national championship. I just genuinely can't tell you at this
well,
point.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, in years to come, it's just the talent gap was so different.
Yeah.
So it's like last year, we kind of knew, like, all right, well, Georgia's probably gonna be in the picture, and then they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Then we was like, oh yeah, well, you know, Bama could potentially, maybe. Then they was like, we'll sneak them in. And Texas was looking like the team to win, and then it was like, nah, they're not the team. So, and then Michigan came, and it was like, we're the team. You know, even after the controversy and all that. So, but I mean, it's like the gap was so wide, but we always at the beginning of the season and as the season go on, put out who we think could possibly win. Um, as far as dominance goes, I mean, I don't think it's only been 2 teams that's dominated to where it's like we know they probably gonna make the championship, and that's Georgia and Bama. Everybody else, in my opinion, was a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, except for LSU that year.
Mm.
But everybody else is like, it was like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, because last year, you know, we weren't picking Washington to compete for a championship. You know, year before that, who'd have thought TCU was gonna compete for a championship? You know what I'm saying? So, and then the year before that, it was Bama and Georgia competing for a championship. So,
Yeah.
uh, so nobody in past years, it's never really been like all right, this is the team that's gonna win it outside of those 2 teams. So
Yeah.
this year it's like we keep saying, the talent gap is closing. So it's like a lot of question marks around a lot of people because you know, like Georgia possibly has the potential to make playoffs or not. They can kind of control their own fate, you know, because well, they don't control their own fate completely because teams have to lose for them to compete for an SEC championship, things like that. But you know, but they've looked rocky. So depending on what Georgia we get the rest of the season, Bama same way. Oregon has just been the most consistent up until this point. I'm not saying that they were far above everybody else. They just have been the most consistent. Like
So
Georgia looked good coming out and then dipped a little bit. Same thing with the rest of the team. So
would you put consistent and dominant in the same category, or would that dominance?
yeah. When you're dominating, you have to be consistent. If I beat somebody 60-0, that means I've been consistently scoring, and that is domination. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, but I mean, there's different levels of domination too, because because Oregon, with what they've been doing, they've been consistent with the offense. Everything's been good. They beat Ohio State, which was at that time the #1 team. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't really had a dip. So they were dominating up until this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they were undefeated. You know, nobody else really like that was uh big time playing big time schools, if we want to say it like that, were undefeated coming into this game. You know what I'm saying? Like the teams that we're used to seeing be undefeated up until this point weren't undefeated. Like it's crazy because Georgia got 2 losses, Bama got 2 losses. Like you know what I'm saying? LSU is struggling. Like I mean, everybody is has a loss or something on their belt. Or Ohio State, it took for them to lose to Oregon and to get it right, and then even them, then they still like inconsistent with how dominant they are. Like you know, they have the capability to be dominant. So does Georgia. So does Bama. It's just on Saturdays it doesn't translate like that at a consistent level. That's what I'm saying. You know.
I get what you're saying, and I also want to put out this another surprising factor within all of this is just how many teams within the Big Ten have made it into this excuse me into the top 4 or even just the top 12 in general. Like this has really been shocking to a lot of people and have led people to thinking, is the SEC still dominating as dominant as people say they are, or that dominant conference, especially with the Big Ten teams moving into the picture like this?
I mean, you have to be dominant. You have to be dominant on a consistent level. The Big Ten teams ain't played in the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, until that happens and you get those
Yeah.
and we see those battles on the playoff stage, then you can say that. But just the same right as the Big Ten teams are making it into the top 10, so are the SEC teams. SEC teams. You got Texas, you got Bama, you got Georgia. Those 3 teams right there for the SEC. And then somewhere in that little threshold below 12 lurking around, you still got Ole Miss in that picture.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, so it's not that the SEC is not dominating. It's just that we beat each other. Like I mean, we seen it, the other weekend with Georgia and Ole Miss. Like did nobody have Ole Miss to dominate that game like they did?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people might have thought that Ole Miss was gonna upset them, but to dominate Georgia like that, we haven't seen nothing like that in at least 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in the Big Ten, as far as that goes, I mean, it's just they are beating each other, and they're entering in that. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's still up for grabs,
right.
So.
And I think that also kind of goes into a next point, and I know we'll get a chance to talk about this game as we do our preview, is the Ohio State-Indiana game. 2 undefeated teams, big matchup. Kind of a lot of people are, I mean, me included, I'm thinking this game is probably going to answer a lot of questions about Indiana as far as just how weak their schedule has been this season. Like, we're really going to get a chance to see what Indiana's made out of. Like, a lot of people are like, what if Ohio State wins? But then there's another half of the country saying, okay, but what if Indiana actually wins this game? You know what I'm saying? What if Indiana actually pulls off the upset of a decade, you know what I'm saying, and beats Ohio State. So looking forward to getting to that game as we do our preview. But let's move over to Kansas and BYU. Kansas gets the upset over number 6 BYU. And I mean, again, just another sloppy play by BYU, but at the same time, another a plot foil in a way, like a team that a lot of people say shouldn't have even been in the top 12. You know what I'm saying? Like now we're getting to the point in the season again where that top 12 is going to continue to shape. But now you have these teams that are getting exposed. Like, okay, how did this team even make it into the top 12 to begin with?
Well, see, that's tricky too, because you said getting exposed. I don't call it getting exposed. I just call a spade a spade. Is when you are the top team or the team that everybody wants to beat, you get everybody best. Like, I mean, that's prime example, Oregon and Wisconsin, because in that same respect, you got to say, if you're going to say BYU got exposed, you have to say Oregon got exposed, even though they didn't win. You know, they only won by 3. You know, so I don't think they got exposed. I don't think no team gets exposed. I just think either they run out of gas or uh they just get the best of a team that they probably should. Because think about it, Kansas ain't got nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? And if they beat them, okay, whoop de do. We clap for Kansas, but then they beat BYU. What does everybody say? Oh, well, BYU wasn't that good in the first place. They shouldn't have been there. No, they still were good. They just uh got upset by a team that left it all on the field. Like we said it any given Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then you say quality opponents, or whatever. But what's a quality opponent? Who deems that opponent quality? You know what I'm saying?
And
Like, what are we doing here? Like, are we,
and I'm glad you brought that up. Also, I just had to add another game in that I forgot. With as far as quality wins go, of course, the team has to be ranked. Now, as
But I'm
far
saying,
as
but who decides that we're speculating that they're ranked that high? You know.
but that's also what I'm about to get to now. As far as with me, I usually classify quality wins if they're in that top 12. I don't necessarily call a quality win outside of out of that top 12. So quality wins are usually wins that could pretty much shake up the top 12
But
rankings.
see, I get that, but I think the question for me is, uh, just because you're ranked or not ranked doesn't mean that you're not a quality team. Is what I'm getting at. So, because
Well,
this is all speculation. Because
yeah.
this is all speculation. Because you can say, uh, Georgia's the number 12 ranked team. I'm not saying that that's what they are. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. But then you can say in that same breath they lost to 2 good teams, but they still are the top 5 team.
Yeah.
That is speculation.
Yeah.
But even though they're, you know what I'm saying.
But
At the end
like
of the day, these boys are good.
yeah.
So I'm saying that to say what is a quality win for me is okay. Did you handle business? Did you execute your game plan? I personally don't look at, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I joke, it's good banter to talk about, quality wins and all that type of stuff, but the only time that we label a win quality is in college. In NFL, winning is enough. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to go NFL talk. I know we talk college.
No,
I'm just
but
saying,
that's a
in
fair
every
point.
other sport, long as you win, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, college football is the only sport where they look at who you beat and how much you beat them by. You know what I'm saying? And then they determine if that was a quality win. Like,
And
you know what I'm saying?
I get
So for me at this point, because I know in past if we said top 12 opponent, we wouldn't. First of all, we wouldn't even say top 12 opponent before. Before it was just if you competed against a team
right.
that you thought was solid, and then given their history,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying. But for me, as long as you go out there and win, that's at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. Because who's gonna come out here honestly, who's gonna come out here and beat teams 45-0 every time just because they got players that weren't 5 stars or whatever?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, let's be real.
And
Like,
again, I hear your point, but me personally, I think the quality wins comes from committee, especially.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
we base it off of the committee. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
But at
That's
the
what I'm
same
getting at.
time, now it's to a point now where nobody genuinely knows what the criteria the committee is asking for because it
Right, and that's why
changes.
I like.
Yeah,
That's
it
why I
changes
like.
yearly. So,
Right,
and even this year, I genuinely cannot tell you
right,
as far as like how last year was, even in Florida State's case, a lot of people were questioning why Florida State didn't make it in. Well, you had Jordan Travis out, but now this year, well, I mean, we're not going to talk about this year with Florida State, but at the same time, we now don't know what the committee could be looking for within a top 12. I'm sorry, a 12-team ranking. So it's really going to be. I get excited when I find out the criteria. Me
right.
personally,
Because I
I do a
mean,
lot of
because
digging.
I'm saying that like I like the speculation. I like
Yeah.
the suspense. Like we
Hmm.
don't know what they're gonna. I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and I appreciate that. I just for me, it's just the word quality win. Like a W is a W. Like
Yeah.
if I go undefeated, that's you know what I'm saying. Like when people were calling TCU's season a fluke when they lost to Georgia,
Hmm.
no, it wasn't no fluke. They just, you know what I'm saying, ran into an even better team in the championship. It wasn't that they were, because I mean, if it was a fluke, they would have lost the first game of their playoff run, but they didn't. They looked
Yeah.
dominant in their playoff run. It's just things happen that we don't talk about. Injuries,
Hmm.
wear and tear on your body. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, okay, who's healthy on the other side? Like I mean, all of that kind of stuff goes. So when you say quality win, that's just to me. That's just saying that that team that you played against was just not good. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite frank, I mean I know it's levels to this or whatever, but we've seen it with Colorado players come from a certain level and then get put to the next level and able to compete.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're executing and you come out with a W, that to me that's a quality win. Like and Wisconsin is for Oregon against with that game, that was not a easy team to play against. Wisconsin is not bad.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
And I mean,
So,
again, I will give credit where it's due. It was a road game for Oregon. Wisconsin is I mean, it was a point in the game where Wisconsin sideline literally had to tell the Wisconsin fans to calm down while they're on
yeah,
offense.
it's
So
not easy. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. So
yeah.
that's the point. That's another point I'm getting at. It's not
Hmm.
easy to get on the road and ball out, and it's not easy playing. Period.
Yeah,
Especially when you're the hunted. Like you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I mean, and I mean that's kind of a fair point. Now that you have given that point, I kind of see it that way for this BYU Kansas game. Again, Kansas. If I'm not mistaken, Kansas was on the road. Yeah, yeah. Kansas was on the road, and I mean got the win. Got the win.
right. You got something to prove. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm
So
saying. You got nothing to lose and everything to prove. So I
well,
mean,
and to Kansas' point, if they get two more wins, they could be bowl bowl
right. You
eligible.
see what I'm
So
saying? So like
yeah,
like at this point you lose, okay, whatever. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? But if you win, it's like, all right, we got a little fight left.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just go out swinging. Like,
Mhm.
let's play free. Like we already slated to lose this game by a big margin. Let's go out here and ball out. Like that's why upsets are so beautiful. That's
Mhm.
why they're so poetic because the team that ends up upsetting the other team is usually giving it they all that day. Like you know what I'm saying? Because that's why a lot of times you see an upset and then they don't look the same the rest of the season because
Mhm.
they literally gave they all to beat that team. Like when Georgia Southern, you know what I'm saying, upset the teams that they upset, they gave it their all. And same thing, you know what I'm saying, like when Georgia State beat Tennessee that year, they gave that game their all, and then the rest of it was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're gonna get everybody's best foot when you play when you're the hunted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So,
I
I mean,
listen.
don't get me wrong, BYU. I mean, you still got to fight and figure out ways to win, but I don't think they got exposed.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, you're 9-1. Again,
Right. Like, I mean,
me personally, I genuinely don't know how much they'll drop again because I can't predict
right.
the
I mean, the
future.
commit. That's up to committee to
Right,
decide.
and
I just
and,
don't
and
think
me
that it was
and
a a, 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 a I don't know. Well, they were a joke. I don't think that they were a
Yeah,
joke.
no,
I think that's
I wouldn't say they were a joke, but again, you know how college football
right, right,
players
and that's
are.
why I'm saying if I'm not
Yeah,
saying it for you personally, I'm saying it for the fans and
right,
everybody that say, oh, well, they shouldn't have been in. No, I mean
right.
you go undefeated up until this point in the season, you doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing I do want to add before we move, I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm not finna sit here and do the math trying to estimate and guesstimate and try to predict who's gonna be in top 12s. I'll leave that to the professionals and the people that get paid for it. I'm not getting paid to do it, so I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so
Right,
um that's just my stance on it. But I mean it's cool to see, the different people that actually do go through,
right, right,
as far as creating their own prediction and projections as far as for the top 12. It's really cool to see. I mean,
right.
it's a fun talking point at that too. So, but yeah, again, I'm really looking to see where BYU stands after this loss, and if Oregon gets dropped again, I don't think so. But if they were, I definitely think Ohio State might jump into
Well,
that
I
one.
mean, yeah, I mean, but if they do drop, it'll be the number 2. I
Yeah,
mean, but no harm, no foul. You still got the rest of your season to play.
yeah,
I mean, at this point, the way the playoffs is set up now, at this point, you just want to make it in,
mm,
and then you want that bye week.
yeah,
So as long as you are top 4 or whatever, that's that, and you win your conference, that's all you want.
yeah,
That's all that matters. As long as you got that bye week. But so I mean, bye week can be a good thing and a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? On one hand, you got rest, you got time to watch the other team and all that stuff, get prepared. And on the other hand, you got a team fresh off a win that's hungry to keep the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? They muscles is ready to go. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah,
ain't relaxed. So um yeah, so I mean, as long as you make that top 4 when you're in the top 5 this late, as long as you make that top 4 come season end, that's all that matters.
right,
But if you are on the outside looking in, so to speak, which is 5 through 12, if I'm not mistaken, now is the time to put the pedal to the metal. Like
mm,
now is no. If you had some best football to play, it's now. Uh, if you are trying to get some chemistry together, it's time to now to get that equal ironed out. Uh, you know what I'm saying? You got stuff in the playbook that you ain't brought out. Now is the time to do it.
mm,
Uh, you got a chance to put your foot on the gas and beat a team by 40. Now is the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, for my teams on the outside looking in, you kind of control your own fate. Now's the time you want to make sure that you get into the conference championships and play and win. Yeah, so you basically got to finish the season out perfect so you
yeah.
can crack those spots for the playoffs. So
Hey, I like it. I like it. That was a good little segment to talk about. I know we don't really get a chance to talk about rankings that much. So for Oregon and Kansas, I mean BYU to kind of bring some light to that was
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
I totally forgot about this game, and I just added it in, and I was saving it for 4, but I just moved it up to 3rd. And we just talked about this team last week, bro. And for them to lose on the road to Florida, LSU, man, we just said Brian Kelly was on the hot seat. You lose 2 back-to-back weeks. You lose to Alabama last week. Now you lose to Florida. Is he out of here after this season?
Uh, no.
Okay.
I think he should be, but I don't think he will be.
Okay.
Um, he's got some decent players coming in. They're still in the stages of that. I mean, think about it. You lose a player like Jaden Daniels, it's not hard. It's not easy to come back from. We saw
Mhm.
it with LSU before. Like, I mean, this has kind of been a thing with. That's not just LSU, but with
Yeah.
other teams. It's you have a super talented quarterback, you have good receivers, and all of this type of stuff. Then they get drafted. Now you're left picking up the pieces, trying to figure it out. I think he's in that stage. So I think they give him one more year after this, to try to get stuff together. She is going crazy out
She
there.
is.
My goodness. My Lord.
Is the door closed?
The door is completely shut.
Oh man,
He
I
is
love it.
demanding.
I love
But
it.
anyway, I think they give him one more year to figure stuff out because he does have some good players coming in. LSU definitely does have some good recruits coming in. And then some of them players are young too. Like I've seen him coaching up a receiver on the sideline. I mean, so much you can do when players are not, being coachable. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, there's only so much you can do. I mean, from the receivers jumping every time. I literally watched it. One of their receivers, I think he's number 3. I don't remember his name. But he jumped every time a ball was thrown to him. He jumped. Button hook, slant route, comeback. He jumped. Fly ball, jump. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there's some stuff that got to be coached up. So, I mean, I think next year, if he doesn't make progress, I think he's out of here. Because he has been to an SEC championship. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And he has beat Bama. So he's done some good things. It just hasn't translated into overall record to make playoffs. So you see the little spurts here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's hard to replace a quarterback of that stature. Like, I mean, not trying to throw shade here, but you see it with Beck. You don't have that same energy as what you had with Stetson. Like, it's not the same. Y'all, thankfully, y'all are figuring it out. But I'm just saying, this even with last year, y'all didn't have that same spark on offense that y'all had before that. Like, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to it. So I mean, but when you lose players, you lose coordinators. I mean, it's all rotating. So I think after this year, uh, if he doesn't get it done next year, or even gets in that conversation of playoffs, he's gone.
Well,
I
yeah,
think he's one more year.
he's going to have to do it. I mean, when you're losing top receivers like C.J. Daniels and Kyron Lacy, more than likely are going to be in the draft. Now is really where you're going to have to really lock in, because I'm not. Let me check. Yeah, so Garrett Nussmeier should be returning next year unless he goes to the draft, which I mean, I think he may.
If I was him, I would stay because I mean, you got so many quarterbacks
Right,
going
for
now.
sure,
I mean,
for sure. And I think even if he were to go this year, he would probably more likely be a third rounder. So I would
yeah, I mean, because you got Milrow, you got Shador, you got Ewers, you got Dylan Gabriel, you got Beck
and it's a lot of
potentially.
it's a lot of underrated teams quarterbacks that will
Yeah, I mean,
probably
I'm
go.
just saying
Yeah,
that I'm at 5 already, so that's
exactly. So
you know what
no,
I'm
I
saying.
agree.
So I mean, it would make sense for him
Yeah,
to come back another year. You know what I'm saying? But that's another
but
conversation another day.
right,
But
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 on the other side of the ball, let's talk about this man DJ Lagway. I was able to talk to a few Florida fans. Dude, I've been talking to a lot of people this past week.
I
But
see, I
I mean,
see.
yeah, they were highly impressed. I mean, especially coming off the Georgia game. I read somewhere a stat that every game he started in, they've won, and I think that's 3-0, which is
Yeah,
insane. That's crazy. So yeah, man, I've been saying DJ
you
Lagway.
have you have you have been a DJ advocate.
I genuinely enjoy watching him play. If they build around this young man, Florida will be an issue. And I've been seeing some fan pages and reading some comments somewhere, and Florida fans are genuinely excited to see what Lagway has to offer
You
as
know
far
what's
as going
funny? I
forward.
think I particularly think that's why their coach is not getting fired.
Oh yeah, Billy Napier, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's why he's
yeah,
not, because he has a quarterback, and they see that, okay, we have a team, we
mm-hmm.
have a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Now we just have to get everybody around him to
Yeah.
compete. Because if we want to be technical in that Florida Georgia game, Lagway was giving
He
them
was
fit.
carving us up. He
He was
was
giving
he
them
was starting
fits.
he
You
was
know,
starting to get something
I
going.
mean, I'm not saying that they would have won, but it may have been a different game
Yeah,
had he stayed in. I'm not
yeah.
not trying to play what ifs or whatever, but I'm just saying they might have put up more fight because Because when you have a quarterback with that's a leader like that, and that leads with his play, and that, you know what I'm saying, that just goes out there and balls, it's a different energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, of course you got your defensive guys that can do that, but when your quarterback, which is the leader of the team, can gain that locker room and have and make them boys get behind them, man.
Yeah.
If your team will run through a brick wall for their quarterback, y'all in good shape to win a championship.
Hey, can we just add the fact we're talking about a freshman, a true freshman right here.
But that shows you that it can be done.
Yeah.
That his situation should tell freshmen coming in to be patient with what they got. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people want to go to the team so they can win a championship right now. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that Georgia's a bad school or nothing, but I'm just saying they go to the Georgias, they go to the Bamas because they thinking easy championship or championship. That's not always the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go there, okay, you may or may not start, and you may or may not win a championship. Your odds are still the same as any other school. You just have other 5 stars around you.
Right.
And it just you look like more 5 stars around you. Mm-hmm. But you don't realize that if you go somewhere and let them develop you and y'all build something together, man, you can win a championship. Yeah. Like, I mean, because newsflash, that's how it used to be before NIL deals became a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I think that speaks volume to Florida's program in the direction that they're going. That they were able to pick him up. That the team rallied around him, and to me, it seems like he's getting better with every week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the future's bright for Florida as long as I know they're ready for that because it's been a while for Florida too. You know what I'm saying? And they want some championships.
They are itching, my brother. They are itching for a championship, and very well. Let me also add they could definitely well be in the in a bowl eligibility situation too. Now next week they play up against Ole Miss. May not win that one, but the last game of the season.
We don't know. We don't know.
I mean, it very well could happen. They beat Ole Miss, but I know one game they should win by a huge margin is against Florida State. That last game of the season. If they find a way to lose this game.
If Florida loses this game, bro, they might just go ahead and fire Billy Napier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, and you're not far off.
I'm not even gonna be mad. Like I'm just humor before a second. Like, everybody, a lot of people talk bad about Auburn, right? But what's worse? Coming from being a playoff contender, possibly, to being the laughing stock of the league, or not having any pressure on you and then being the laughing stock of a conference. I would take the latter because Florida State look pretty bad, brother.
Bro, it makes pretty bad. No sense. Like, this
and to be honest with you, I owe DJ Uge Ungale. Did I say it right?
You still didn't say it right. It was close, but no.
Nah, well, that's about as good as it's gonna get. DJ Uge Ungale, I got owe him an apology. It was not you, my brother. Your coaches is terrible. Your coaches is terrible. It's not you. It's not you. DJ Uge Ungale, it's not you. It's not you, brother. Yeah. They need to get rid of all them coaches.
So, okay, they did get rid of the OC and the DC, if I'm not mistaken. But you're saying they need to get rid of the head coach now as well?
Heck yeah, they should got rid of him last year. He caught a freaking run and they fumbled the ball.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? I mean, are you wrong? No. Oh, man, I tell you. College Couch Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We keep it real here on the
I'm
College
just
Couch
saying.
Podcast. But yeah, man, Florida
Had
should
he
be.
not did that, Florida State might have ended up being in the picture. Well, we're not talking about it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Let's just.
get rid of the coaching staff because the
It's
player
already.
like they got talent, bro. They
Yeah,
got.
I mean, you had one of the you have a lot of guys that transferred into that program, which is
Right,
insane.
right. So you
And
got veterans with experience and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's not you.
it's
It's them.
it's
So
them.
wait. So you telling me mid season or toward the end of the season, I get rid of my offense coordinator, defense coordinator. We still look bad. Who else fault is it? You hired them.
Yep.
You hired them, and you still look bad. Like, come on, bro.
My thing is they went to their backup quarterback like something like something was going
Right.
to
That's
change.
why I said I apologize, DJ Ooga Ugly.
But
Because
at the same time, DJ got hurt. DJ had surgery, so
that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying. I apologize to him
yeah,
because if it was him, then the backup would have been able to, you know
mhm.
what I'm saying, make it look like you would have been able to tell, like, oh,
Right.
this offense looks different. Prime example, DJ Lagway,
Mm.
offense looks completely different under him. So you know it had to be the starter where it wasn't looking too hot,
Right.
right? Florida State, not the case. They look the same completely. So either the play calls is being terrible, the coaching of the quarterback is being terrible, uh, the schemes is bad, something. Because it's not. I mean, I say that to say because the conference that they're in, and I'm not. I hate this how people trash and all of that, but conference that they're in is not that strong. Like outside of Clemson in years past, you haven't really had many other people, Louisville as of late, obviously, but you haven't had many teams with great success come out of that consistently, should I say? Because Florida State, I mean, they won they championship against us before the playoff format was implemented, but in recent years they haven't been consistently good. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Ohio State's been consistently good. Oregon's been consistently good. Um, Georgia, Bama. Like I mean, Texas has been good, and they've just been getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the ACC, we haven't seen that team. We've seen a team be good and fall off. We haven't had that in the ACC. So, they have the potential to win it every year, but they just be bad.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, you know
again,
what I'm saying?
now we got a few ACC teams in the picture. SMU. God, I want to say Notre Dame so bad, but
But
they're still independent. Just go to the
But
ACC already.
SMU is a newer school to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ACC. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of shakes it up a little bit.
right.
I'm just saying consistently. That's all. I'm not saying that these teams are bad. Like, but
Mm,
Clemson was consistent and they dipped off. Then Florida State was that way too, and then they dipped off. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's not like consistently in that picture. Like you
yeah,
know. So I mean Miami. They came out hot and we'll see where they end up. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, Florida State, yeah, they just, yeah, I mean, that's not surprising. To just be honest with you, like
I mean, half the
whenever
half.
they lose, I'm not shocked anymore. I was only shocked for the first 2 weeks
Yeah,
of the
I mean, but at the same time, when half your team goes pro, graduates, or transfers, you kind of just like, all right.
right. Like
Yeah.
it's not easy, bro. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. Like the teams that usually make it the first that have the least amount of transfers, bro. Like
Yep.
no, like we're gonna see something special with Colorado because they had a whole lot transfer and then they had some transfer in. So if they make it further, then that'll be the exception. But usually, the team that goes the furthest is the team that didn't have as many transfers. Like or if they had transfers, it was people that were like third and fourth strings and stuff like that, which is
Yeah.
understandable. Like you ain't getting in for the next 3 years. Yeah, I get it. But yeah.
Well, let's move on over. This is a rivalry game. Crazy enough, I guess, because of the proximity, the close in proximity. Texas, Arkansas, 20-10. Texas was up 10-0 at half, and then Taylor Green miraculously, not even Taylor Green, Jaquindon Jackson, the running back for Arkansas, scores. But dude, it's so funny to me because the way people talk about Taylor Green, and y'all faced off against Arkansas. Give me your honest thoughts about Taylor Green, the quarterback.
That joker big as I don't know what.
He's big. Like when you see him, you're like,
but see, he's not even like he appears faster than he is because he's so tall.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like he just has long strides, and like
Yeah.
every time like he would run, he would be so slow, but his strides are so long. He's like, God, dog, he already
Yeah.
had the first down, like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And then he tried to jump and kick our player. You know what I'm saying? Which was, I mean, it was kind of funny, but it was not funny. Uh, but no, I mean, for him, if he could, he's a great athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got the long legs, the long strides. You know what I'm saying? Can cover ground pretty well. If he could just sit back and be calm and make a read and deliver a strike consistently, he'd be the most dangerous man in college football. Because the dude is super tall. He can take off whenever he wants to, and he's gonna get yards because he 2 steps he had the first down. Like I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, like But if he can clean up his game,
Yeah.
settle down mentally, and actually, you know what I'm saying, be a quarterback, not just a runner. You know what I'm saying? He'd be dangerous. Like I would I would even go as far as that he would be competing for a Heisman if he was to do those things.
I agree. I mean, I think that's a fair point. But what's even crazier is I don't think this kid was always a quarterback. Maybe at
It shows
6'6".
how he run. That
Yeah,
joke.
at 6'6", something tells me this kid used to play wide out and maybe.
But I mean, let's be honest. Most players that play football, you play multiple positions
Yeah.
until you find the position that fits you best. Like
Right.
because
Right.
Cam Newton played running back, played linebacker, all those other things, and then he figured out quarterback. That's why he was able to take all those hits. You play different stuff, and then you figure
Yeah.
out, oh yeah, this is my bread and butter right here. You know what I'm saying? Like DBs and wide receiver go hand in hand. Because if I'm a DB, I know what a receiver doing. If I play receiver, I'm a receiver and I play DB. I know how the DBs think. I know how to move. Like, and they always say DBs are wide receivers that couldn't catch the ball. And that's what they normally say.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody plays a different position at some point. You know, until they find, unless they just come in figuring out that they want to play quarterback and they just stick with that. But most players, you play something. You play a little bit of everything. I know when I was playing Pee Wee, I played line off defensive line, and then everybody got tall, and then it was like, yeah, no more defensive line for you, buddy. Yeah,
Now I
so
feel that, but Texas, very well could have lost this game. But of course, in Texas fashion, finds a way. You know, with Quinn Ewers and that wide receiver core, that receiving core.
yeah, they it's gonna be interesting to see them play in the playoffs. Cause I still
Yeah.
don't think with Texas we've got their best brand of football yet.
No.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a lot of teams. Like I think we still haven't got the best from Bama. We still haven't got the best from Georgia. I don't think. We don't. I think we've gotten the best out of Oregon because I think they played at their complete best against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
They just did it more consistently for longer. I don't think we've got the best out of Ohio State yet. There's a lot of teams for me that I just don't think that we've got a complete game out of them yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, yeah, like, yeah. This is
Yeah,
how I
I
feel.
feel that. And I mean, Texas should literally cruise these last 2 weeks. Kentucky
Well,
and Texas
no,
A&M.
no, because they got Texas A&M last week of the season.
Well, yeah, agreed. But I mean,
That's a rivalry game. And
hold on. When I say cruise, I mean they should win. I'm not saying how much they should win by. This game could very well be
no,
close.
no. When you say cruise, you said that that's gonna be an easy game.
No,
That's
no,
what I
no.
get
I
from
mean,
cruise.
they should win. Okay, that Texas A&M game should definitely be a test. It's
Yeah,
going to
that should
be
be
a
the only
test.
one that should be a test for them. I agree with
Absolutely,
you there.
especially on the road. Kyle Field is no joke. So, they definitely will have a test. Now, Kentucky, I'll put it like this: Kentucky should be a tune-up game for them for Texas A&M. How about that? It should.
Well, Kentucky's defense is not bad. They just don't
Right,
have the
and that's the
offense to
thing. I
match it.
mean,
Mhm.
we know because yeah, we know, we know, we know. I know all too well, actually. So yeah, I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, you ready to move on to this Tennessee Georgia game?
Yeah, because it looks like you in better spirits to talk about your boy
Well,
this week.
yeah, because I mean, it took for me to crash out and dang near have a come to Jesus meeting last week, and I mean, I shouldn't have to go through all that. Like,
Welcome to being a normal fan.
I tell
You
me
forget
about it,
you
but
forget you forget where you was at before the
oh
championship started rolling, huh?
gosh, bro, and I had to, and the fact that I had to point that out, man. Oh, I hate going back into that time in my life where I was just always depressed on Saturdays and then turn around on Sundays and try to watch the Falcons play 4 quarters. That was a
Oh, you gotta pick a struggle. You gotta pick a
yeah, you
struggle.
got to pick one, and I felt like it was just best for me to
On
just pick.
Sunday you gotta if you got a good team that you know probably gonna pull it out on Sunday, then you can have any
Yeah,
team on Saturday. But if you got a bad team on Sunday or wishy-washy team,
bro,
ooh, you
bro.
gotta pick one. Pick a
It
side.
was bad, but yeah. So I just felt like my Saturdays would be a whole lot better, and I was right. It took a few years, but I'm proud of my decision. But anyway, Georgia finally gets it together, man. A great win, great quality win against Tennessee. Um, they did it. They I mean they looked really
Shout
well.
out. I know we give him a lot of flack on this show, but shout out Mike Bobo for actually opening up the playbook.
Hello, I mean, bro,
This is what Kirby Smart knew he had in his arsenal. It just yeah, what they say, Mike Bobo need to pick that cup back up that he be drinking when he be caught in the right place.
or something. But I mean, dude, it just this is what we've been asking for all season long. Like you cannot be conventional in this playbook. You have to be unpredictable. You have to be oh my gosh, like you just have to come with it in the
Yeah,
SEC.
and shout out Carson Beck for
Yeah.
he showed he had some dog in him. Like
Looked very comfortable. Was very,
not
very
even like in
pleased.
the pocket. Like he just
Yeah.
like he
Running.
with the running. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like he gained a lot of my respect that game. You know.
hmm The second leader rusher this game for Georgia, like 32 yards. Like, I mean, again, it was a great win all around. I was very pleased. But don't let me get out of character like that. I don't like getting out of character. Like
That's right.
I,
You got 2 games left that y'all should. Now
we should
those should be cruising game. That's safe to say that y'all gonna cruise the
now.
rest of the way.
Granted, Georgia Tech
No,
just look.
no, no, no. Don't even say it. No. Y'all,
Georgia Tech
if
has looked.
if y'all struggle with freaking Georgia Tech, bro, then y'all don't deserve to be in the playoffs, dog. I'm just being honest. Like, like when we go back to what I was saying before, quality wins. Like, yeah, Georgia Tech is good for what they doing, but they're not Georgia good. I'm just being real.
Facts. So yeah, but no, I 100% agree. Yeah, but man, they just now one thing I will say, something that really has been a struggle all season, and I pray to God probably won't get cleaned up this season. Man, we gotta get some boys that can catch that ball.
Yeah, I mean, but
They
that's that you
ain't
gotta
no
think.
excuses.
No. Yeah, I think a lot of these players was thrown into position. Like these weren't your starters at the beginning of the season, but people decided to be stupid, and you know
A
what I'm
lot
saying.
of,
So, but
I mean, but it's the starters too, though.
but
Like
also,
these are, huh?
but also though, like let's be honest, man. Like everybody wants to talk about the drop passes. They're gonna get cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was dropping every pass, I'd be like, all right, bro, you might want to go switch over to DB. But like I mean, I've seen a number of elite receivers drop passes. You know what I'm saying? You know, throughout the seasons or whatever. But that's it's part of growing. So
But this
yeah, I
late,
mean they gonna
this late.
yeah
Okay.
it's part of growing pains. I mean. Brother, you think about it, it's only 4 months to clean up other habits you already had. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, and I think y'all would be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, every team drops passes. Like, I mean, that's and it ain't just one or two. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just thinking about the run before you even thinking about the catch. Like, or you're thinking about positioning, or you thinking about dragging your feet. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Or you got other stuff on your mind, like during that time. Like I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to handle all of that, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like those things happen. Like we human at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean they gotta clean that up if they want to go farther because I mean you don't want to bring that into the playoffs. But
Yeah.
yeah, Georgia be fine.
Yeah.
Georgia be fine, especially
Also,
if they make conference championship. I mean, yeah, the conference championship. You know, Georgia be fine.
now Tennessee number 7, they drop after this loss on Saturday. Where you think they still
Well,
be?
I mean, I don't think they should drop out the top 12, but this is
Okay.
where it gets fun. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they should drop out of top 12, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I think that I mean they went up against a solid Georgia team, so I mean that's a blessing and a curse because okay you lost, but you lost against a good team.
Yeah.
That's what Georgia's credit is to. The two teams that they lost to were good teams. Like you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I mean they do drop because you got to drop because you got 2 losses now. You know, had it been their one loss, I mean, they still may have dropped, but it might have been in one spot. You know, depending on who else would have lost or whatever. But yeah, I think they dropped. I think they dropped. Do they drop out the top 12? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
Again,
think
we'll
as the
find out
weeks go
soon.
on, because we have to see, because it could potentially. I mean, we have to see how the rest of the season play out. Because you got who's in the conference championship picture now? Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, A&M. Yeah, and
Mhm.
Bama. Those 5 teams all have a potential chance of making it. Oh, and Vanderbilt, I can't forget them. Just depends on how
Yeah.
everything shakes out. And Texas and A&M play each other, so that's 2 out of the, you know what I'm saying, teams that could potentially. So it could shake up and mess around and be another Georgia Bama SEC championship or Georgia Texas SEC championship. We don't know. So um, all we know is that conference championship with automatic bid.
Hmm.
So.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
I think that's a good
Yeah,
place
because
to
I
put a
mean,
little
but yeah,
put a little.
Tennessee. I don't think they played. They didn't play their best brand of football.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me see who they got left this season. They have UTEP and Vandy. So that Vandy game should really,
Yeah, rivalry. That's the
yeah,
only one that
really
they
be a
got.
good one.
You know,
Yep. Well, all right. I think that's a cool place to go ahead and put that bookmarker, and let's go ahead and move on to these who you got for week 13, my brother. You ready?
yes sir.
12 p.m. ABC Saturday. Ole Miss, number 9 Ole Miss, Florida. Who you got?
Ole Miss.
I would like to see Ole Miss get it, but I would love to see Florida. I would love to see Florida attempt. So I'm gonna still go Ole Miss, but I would like to see what Florida
Well, I
has.
mean, they're gonna attempt when they clock hit 15 minutes. They
No,
gonna be ready to go then.
they better be. 3:30 ABC on Saturday. Kentucky, number 3 Texas. Who you got?
I got Texas.
I got Texas on that one. 3:30 CBS on Saturday. Number 4 Penn State versus Minnesota. Who you got?
Penn State should win if they want to keep their hopes alive. So I
Penn
go.
State better better win, my brother.
That's what I said. They better
Ain't
win.
no questions. Um, they better win. 3:30 on ESPN on Saturday. Number 14 BYU and number 21 Arizona State. Did they already put out? Okay. This is okay. We're going. Are we going by? Sorry, I just had a huge. So this must be AP that they're going by. Anyway, sorry, my brain had a little scramble right there.
Probably because the playoff rankings ain't gonna be
Yeah,
important
so
until after the
they're probably
conference
going by
finish.
AP until then. So yeah, 14 BYU, 21 Arizona State. Who you got?
BYU, I think they pissed off from this past weekend.
100%. But also definitely want to see what Cameron Scatterbo, running back for Arizona State, how he looks. I'm gonna be honest. This is a very vulnerable moment. I just have to add this. I lost so much money this past weekend. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. College football's Saturday selects might be on hold because I listen. I am depressed. 3:30 on Fox on Saturday. Number 16 Colorado versus Kansas. Who you got?
I got Colorado, but watch out for Kansas because they're coming off a big win. But I got
Yeah,
Colorado. I think
they
Colorado is playing with a swagger and the energy that can't nobody touch them the rest of the way right now.
100%. Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal, of course, two studs. Well, I take that back. Jalen Daniels has his moments where he's indecisive and he's like, all right, I'm two in my head. But Devin Neal, one of the top running backs in college football, looks really solid. Should have a big game unless Colorado's defense comes through and says, all right, not today. So I'm gonna go Colorado. 3:30 on Big Ten Network, Wisconsin and Nebraska. Who you got?
Dang, that's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough. I
I
mean, the
want to
way
go.
Wisconsin's playing right now, I got Wisconsin.
Yeah, I want to take. I'm gonna take Wisconsin on this one because I think especially after almost upsetting Oregon, they really want to go ahead and try to get that win because they were super close. They were super close.
Right.
Big one here. Number 18, bro. I let me make sure this is I'm correct because even though I rock with my service academies, I want to make sure this is service academy, so I won't be saying the wrong one. This is 7. Y'all are going to laugh at me. I know. Is this the right service academy? Okay, I was right. 7 p.m. NBC on Saturday. 18 Army versus number 6 Notre Dame. Who you got?
No, Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm taking Notre Dame on this one,
They
but
hot right now. Notre Dame is hot right now,
yeah,
boy.
Notre Dame looks good, but dude, I am a huge fan of Army's quarterback. Dude does not throw a single pass, but is going to run the ball. He is literally a secondary running back on that
Yeah, it look
offense.
like he the primary running back, but he get the
But the
ball
thing
more than
is,
everybody else.
the primary running back can run that thing too. So you just
I
really
mean, I
don't
would
know.
hope so.
But I'm saying you just never know who's gonna be leading rusher at the end of the game. But anyway, I'm
But
gonna take
whoever
Notre
touched the
Dame.
ball the most is the primary running back if they both running. And the quarterback touched the ball more than anybody. So
Fair, fair,
deep
fair. 7:30 ABC Saturday. Number 7 Alabama versus Oklahoma. Who you got?
for Alabama. I
Yep.
think they hot right now. They pissed off. They playing like some pissed off dogs right now.
Yeah. Venables is just not. Yeah, Venables has just been. I don't know, dude. And you know what's crazy? I just looked in the corner of this graphic. AP poll used for ranking. No, 7:30. It's time to go. 7:30 ESPN, number 15 A&M, and yo Auburn Tigers. Who you got?
I know who I want to vote for, but the fan in me won't let me do it. So I'm going for Auburn and I'm pulling for Auburn, but I really feel like A&M is gonna beat the slop out of us. Just being honest.
In order to keep this thing, and we could potentially have a sweep here. Who are you going with?
I already told you. In my heart of hearts, I'm going with Auburn, but I know for a fact the football in me, I'm going with Texas A&M. Like if we keeping fandom out of it, if we keeping fandom out of it, Texas A&M gonna beat the brakes off of it.
I'm going A&M. All right, last one. Big game. Another. Gosh, I hate Big Ten noon games. Honestly, number 5 Indiana versus number 2 Ohio State. Who you got?
Ooh, I got Ohio State. State.
I have been looking forward to this game because just again, I really want to see if Indiana is going to show up, but I'm really.
I think they're going to show up. I think because the good thing about this game for them is that if they win, it looks better.
100%. Right?
But if they lose, depending on how they lose, it still looks okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, okay, if you win, of course you're gonna jump. But if you lose, if you don't lose by much, you keep it close. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying less than 2 touchdowns, like a touchdown, maybe 10 points. Then you might drop a spot, just depending on what everybody else does, because that's a big game. You're playing against a highly ranked team, so I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it's been another great episode of College Couch Podcast. We cannot thank you guys enough for your continued love and support. Continue to like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like how Stack says about the College Couch.
Well, then you done close it out?
No. Because
ain't no need to repeat it, my brother. You got to leave them down, boy.
All right, well, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for our support. For your support. We cannot thank y'all enough. Hey, my brother, take us home.
Hey, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Tell a friend, tell their auntie them that College Couch Podcast is where it's at, where we give the facts straight raw. And if you got a player that needs some shine, let us know. Hit us in the DM, my DM. I'm Jay Stackz, Javaris DM, Javaris L. Harris. And then you have the College Couch Podcast DMs. Just hit us up. We respond back, and we will put some shine on what need to be shined. You know what I'm saying? So just let us know. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. Keep tuning in. But we got some bills to pay. We gonna holler at y'all.
Wait, hold on. Me and Stackz are about to go get on Indeed and apply for this Kansas State football job. I just wanted to throw that out there. The cat is out the bag.
So you try to be clever
next week.
You try to be clever. The cat out the bag, cause they the Wildcat.
No, they're not. They're not even the Wildcats. They're the Owls. Goodbye. Go. Let's go.
Oh, you said Kansas State or Kennesaw State?
Kennesaw State. Wow.
You said Kansas State, bro.
Wow. Kennesaw State. Yeah, we're going to go apply for the Kennesaw State job now.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Then we don't give a hoot then. God dog. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up,